Welcome back to the show. This is Control and Soul. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into Copilot, Claude, and Gemini. We might have some other considerations in there. I'm your host, Jay, the AI Navigator. And today, with the mastermind of Microsoft in KC and the Claude Cadet. Can I call you Cadet?
It's not as respectable as the mastermind, but I take what I can get.
I'm going to be your Gemini genie when we talk about AI tools. As we take a deep dive, we're going to each go ahead and showcase why we pick a particular tool. Before that, we want to talk about why we chose these tools and show you the demos, right? So, KC, since you are the Microsoft Mastermind, you are proficient with Copilot. Why'd you pick
Yeah,
Copilot?
so Copilot is like a two for one deal. You get not only ChatGPT where you can search the web, search your business documents, but it's also into all the tools that we know and love in Microsoft. That's Excel, PowerPoint. It's built into the tools, and that makes it powerful. I'll get into my demo in a second, but it's probably second to none. Double your money. I think at the time of this recording, it's probably $35 per user on your business network. It has business class security. Those meetings that are being recorded in Teams automatically recapped in Copilot, and you can get action items from those. You can put them into different tools, whatever your project management choice is. Without further ado, let me show you a couple of things we can do in Copilot. For this first demo, as I mentioned, we're going to look at Microsoft Copilot, which can be found in Microsoft Teams. Over on your left-hand side, you can click on Copilot in the Teams window, and you will get the chat box. All right, let's take a look at a few of the prompts you might be able to use. As you can see, when you click on the drop down, it gives you some options here. There's multiple different ones just to get you started. You can also see below, there's an option to click on more. And again, more examples of how to get started. Plenty of these things would help you during your day, when you're starting your day off, to ask questions about how your day might go. So it's a good opportunity to identify things here that you can put into use on your day-to-day basis. And as you scroll down, you'll see there's even more, which are great. And there's even a prompt gallery, which includes more. You can search by task type and also job type. You can learn how to sharpen your writing skills. So who said AI couldn't help you become smarter? Going on holiday, you want to write a funny out of office. You want to highlight differences, which I could touch on here, my next demo for Excel. You can code here. You can say something in a different language, give data insights. There's just so many things you can do with it. Again, this is why I love Copilot. And I wish they had this functionality in ChatGPT as well, because it gives you some kind of, sort of like some hand holding here. You can look up marketing things, draft content faster, help with a campaign. So there's just multiple things that you can do, as you can see here. The opportunities are immense. Again, you can learn different task types, whether you're asking, you're learning, you're coding, you're analyzing, you're understanding. It's just unimaginable, all the things that you can do with it. It's limitless, and it's really up to you as a user. Again, it's powered by ChatGPT 4, so you can do whatever you need in the back end there as well to create whatever you see fit, or to prompt anything you might see fit. Next thing I wanted to show you is Microsoft Excel and the functionality there that's already built in the Copilot. In the top right, you can see you just click on Copilot, click on your name, it shows your name, and it automatically suggests some prompts. But I have a few here that I'm going to give you, such as, let's summarize the total sales by region in this table. So it starts to think a little bit, as you can see here, it's analyzing all of that sales data. And then sure enough, it actually gives you a bar chart with the sales data with the numbers. So that's quick and dirty. You can ask questions about it without having to create graphs. And you can just imagine, if you have a table with 60,000 records, how beneficial this would be. So let's ask another question and see what it says. What is the average unit price for each product? And of course, it's thinking again, analyzing more, and it breaks that down for you to give you the price of both the gadgets and widgets. And that's just amazing to be able to quickly analyze that. I just think of myself trying to run into a meeting and analyze some data. It's just, this saves so much time. You can easily add it to a new sheet. And as you can see, there's also options below with additional insights you can ask. So again, Copilot wins for that because it just gives you the opportunity to kind of handhold and take you through to the next step. So one question leads to another question, leads to another question, etc. So it's so much easier to analyze all your data that way. So again, Copilot for the win. Give it a try for yourself, and let us know in the comments what you think about it. Back to you guys.
Thanks for the demo. Microsoft is a great tool to have. Obviously, I think it's ChatGPT's corporate little brother, but overall, is that really, really interested to see how small businesses can go ahead and take all of their usage and help streamline their businesses in order to go ahead and get more done. Remy, how do you feel about Claude and what does it bring to small businesses or your business?
I use all the AI platforms, Claude, ChatGPT, and Gemini is moving up the ranks. I've used Gemini, DeepSeek, all for different things. Claude is my number one go-to because of coding. My business needs more coding than any of the other functions that we can use in AI. The coding capabilities, Claude is the guy. Is Claude a guy or a girl? We all know Gronk is a guy. In the next 5 years, you'll either be creating or manual labor. So in AI, you're going to have to be using AI to create something or have created or directed agents. I think that is where we're going with it. For me, I'm more on the creating side. So for several reasons, Claude is the guy. Let me fast forward to my favorite function of Claude, the learn focus approach. Claude explains the concepts, problem solving, and why it's using certain code. It approaches complex problems with a holistic concept. The context window is, I think, about 200,000 tokens, and the only AI that has more than that is Gemini at 1 million. Let's go down a few reasons. So what I will be demonstrating today is Claude artifacts. It's one of the most powerful features you can have with coding. All right. Let's get straight into it. You see here, we're starting off with the blank screen or the opening page. I'm using Claude Sonnet 4. You can obviously use Opus or some of the lesser models. I'm going to stay with Sonnet 4 for this example. It's a good balance of speed and quality. So on the side, you'll find artifacts. Here, you see the inspirations, my artifacts. We're going to start a new artifact. So the other thing about artifacts is anytime you're starting something substantial, it will create an artifact for you automatically. But let's just go ahead and start from scratch here. Let's think of artifacts as a workspace for anything substantial. So that's basically what artifacts is. I use it for anything. In coding, I use it for anything beyond snippets or examples. So today we're going to start with a prompt for a LinkedIn interactive post. I already had the prompt ready. Here you'll see the name of the post is How Close is AI to Taking Our Job? This is meant to boost engagement, spark curiosity, etc., etc. You can go down and see all of the details, the key features. So as you see, Claude has already started. It should be using React instead of HTML. Yep, React here. So basically you see it created the structure, Island, or it's using React, and interactivity. Oh, there we go. So let's see. Now that it's working and thinking, let's see. It looked like it's done, but the preview is not showing. Let's get down to the bottom. Yep, it's done, but for some reason, it's not previewing. So, yeah, it's never perfect. Let's see how else we can get this. Oh no, that's not what we want. So, let's talk to Claude and say, cannot see preview of app. And let's see what happens. So it's recreating everything. The other thing is, no matter which one of the models you use, they all use artifacts. And again, this workspace is pretty much, it allows you, the true power behind the workspace, it allows you to iterate and refine in real time without even leaving Claude. That means you can go back and forth and do all of your corrections, all your edits right here in one place. You don't have to go outside and see if it works or not. But today the preview isn't working, so let's see. And it won't download. Preview still isn't working. Can you provide another option to view? Usually if it was in HTML, there you go. That's what I was looking for. So what it did is change to HTML so it can read first. So React would definitely be a better basis for coding for this type of site. But for whatever reason, it won't. I've had this issue a couple more times, but let's see. Download HTML. And there you go. How close is AI to taking your job? Let's see. Are you in healthcare and medical? Oh, manager, supervisor, data analysis. Let's see. Oof. I didn't take time to see what it was, but that don't look good. So anyway, in short, you see how quick that was, even with the difficulty of having to change from React to HTML. That was less than 5 minutes. So artifacts, Claude, very powerful. I look at artifacts as a development partner, the true AI and human collaboration at its fullest potential. So catch me on LinkedIn, take your test, share your result. I think I'll take it again and really take some time this time. All right, back to you guys.
A really good demo showing exactly what Artifacts does. I wanted to highlight that you had mentioned is that I think Windsurf uses it. I think Lovable uses it as well. This is for Claude. And obviously it's a game changer when it comes down to coding overall. So Claude is definitely a tool that I use as well. I use Microsoft Teams and Copilot with the team here. My favorite tool right now is Gemini. Google was late to the party, but when it came, it brought the party. And what I mean by that is that the features that Google has is a game changer. One, I think that for small businesses such as solopreneurs, I think this gives you an opportunity to go ahead and not necessarily hire a business manager or a planner. You can create one. When I showcase the demo, you can create a persona. Google or Gemini calls it Gem. You can go ahead and create that persona so that way you can ask that persona questions and go ahead and get a lot of insights. So if you're into content creation, if you're into just standing up your business and wanting to know how to best approach it, this is a great way of doing that. That's my favorite tool I've been using when it comes to coding. Not as great as Claude. When it comes down to team collaboration, I wouldn't say that it's as great as Microsoft, but I do love the fact that you are able to go ahead and do videos. The more things you're touching, the more things you're going to go ahead and break. But if you're working with AI and you understand your vision and you're able to see your creativity, it gives you the opportunity to be big, put your creative juices to the flow, and then keep on reiterating so that way you're getting exactly what you want. Again, I love Gemini. I know I'm missing some things, but for small businesses, if you don't have the infrastructure or capital to hire and you're a solopreneur, I would go ahead and go with Gemini because the things that you can do really outweighs the cost. If you're a Verizon customer, you should have Gemini because it's included for $10 a month. That's a steal of a deal. And then everything else is going to be going to cost you $20 or more. Overall, big fan of Gemini. Let me show you the demo so you see how good these features are. Use it. There you go.
All right, so this is going to be Gemini. This is how you would get to Gemini. It's usually most cases with anything Google, you can go ahead and just type in Gemini. Since I've been using this so much, it does go to DeepMind. So if I just go ahead and hit enter, it's going to go ahead and take me basically here. And then most cases is that it's going to have the models and whatnot. And then you're able to see exactly what Gemini has to offer. And then from here, you can either build, but we're not going to focus on that. We want to go into the easy part. We're going to go ahead and go into chat with Gemini. Again, this is something that you can go ahead and do, is that obviously with the chats, you have it all the way to the right, to the left, and then you're able to go ahead and kind of have those conversations. Right here is that generated video with a VO3. You can go ahead and add files. It's going to go ahead and give you some prompt recommendations. You can go ahead and see in the top left. You can always change. I would leave it as to the pro reasoning, but you could always go ahead and change that for Gemini there. And then here is going to be the deep search. The deep search is amazing because if you go ahead and put in your prompt or do what you're looking to do, and what I mean by that is just any type of research. This actually does deep research. It actually goes to the side and really gives you a comprehensive, almost like a PDF or research paper style as to what you're looking to go ahead and research. Canvas is basically creating docs and apps. It's not the best with, I would say, coding as of right now, but it's doing a great job. And then, generating or creating an image. I would definitely highly recommend people try that. And then also, the thing that I really do like about this is that you have the ability to obviously open and close. Over here, the gems, that's what I really want to go ahead and talk about, is that this gives you the opportunity to kind of create your assistant. So if you know that, hey, you want a coding partner, this is going to be basically your way of having or asking or having somebody there that's proficient in coding. Like I said, what I use it for is to be able to go ahead and just have those type of conversations that you can go ahead and do. I think Gem Manager is a game changer because now you can be more strategic in your approach as to how you want to interact with chat. Do you want it just to go ahead and talk about being a coding partner? Do you want it to go ahead and help you research leads? Do you want it to be a social media assistant? You can go ahead and make sure that you're doing that and having those type of conversations there, and not necessarily, it's basically defined by niche. And that's what is really my favorite feature. I don't know if Microsoft has that, and I know that Claude has projects, kind of like the same thing, but really, really a big fan of this. Again, this is going to be something that is going to be $10 a month if you're a Verizon customer, and then $20 a month if you are not. I'm a big fan here, and I think that Google is in the space with Gemini to go ahead and take it to the next level. You can get this as an app on your phone. Obviously, if you have the Google phone, it comes with that, but on the Apple devices, you can go ahead and get this as an app. Obviously, I think Google is changing the game as to how they're interacting with AI. They weren't the first to the party, like I said, but when they came to the party, they brought a lot of the features that we've been looking for here. Other than that, man.
So let me ask Jay, what do you think the limitation on Gemini is compared to the other ones? We know the context is much larger with Gemini and the power that comes with that. But what do you think is the biggest negative with them being the latest to the party?
I think that Google had gotten caught up in being a perfectionist. And then now that it understands what the game has been missing, is it actually doing a great job? One thing it doesn't do a good job at is, I would say, coding. It does what it's supposed to do when it comes down to coding. But if you need help understanding a code, it'll tell you what you want to hear instead of the right answer.
I find ChatGPT to be a people pleaser too. I don't like
Yeah.
people pleasers.
Yeah, it definitely is. There's a number of articles and podcasts. I don't think we're the only people that think that, you know. It's always nice to just automatically say, "Oh yeah, you're doing a great job." And it's like, I know that wasn't a great job. Especially like I mentioned last episode, my prompts are terrible, but it always tells me they're great. So I keep producing terrible prompts.
I will say it does make me feel good to have an AI fluff me up. So
You
that
need
was
something.
good. That was
Like
great.
I can bring you back down to earth.
That's funny. But also, guys, I know we mentioned our three go-tos. Obviously, we all use these tools because all have benefits when we're using them. What other tools haven't we mentioned? AI tools. Give some reactions, because obviously we didn't talk about ChatGPT, which is the monster in the room, but we did when we talked about Microsoft. But what are your thoughts on ChatGPT outside of it being a people pleaser?
I I think ChatGPT is really good. In some coding instances, it has given me a better explanation than Claude. The issue with ChatGPT is you can be more creative when it comes to coding, but security wise, you can't use it for real life scenarios, in my opinion. That can be said as a limitation or a strength. You know, the securities in Claude limit you sometimes. If you need to do something creative, ChatGPT, but it won't verify that this works. And that's okay for when you're creating something. But if you bring it to a real life scenario, real business environment, that just won't work. If I want to do that, I can do that with Claude and not waste my time.
I mean, I got a couple. So ChatGPT is awesome to me. I use it often. I'm not a coder, so I don't use it for that purpose. But when you're talking strategy and creativity, if you have an idea, you bring it to ChatGPT and say, "Hey, give me 10 ideas based on this." Two out of those 10, if not more, ideas you might not have thought about. It gives you a starting point that you can iterate on and come up with something even more creative. So I love it for that. Love it for the image, video generation. I love it for projects, which gives you the ability to tie multiple chats into one project. It's an amazing tool. A close second favorite of mine. I love Perplexity as well. But I think most people know what that does is Google's AI brother or something like that. I use that a lot, especially when I'm doing research online. But then another one I love for select purposes is Notebook LM. When you're trying to compile resources, big different reference materials, you're trying to compile that and then also get a summary from it. That tool does it almost the best to me. I haven't done a head to head with ChatGPT, but it does it very well. And then you gotta love the podcast feature. I mean, that in itself makes Notebook LM worth it. If you haven't used it, go use it today.
Nah, the only reason is the podcast feature. If you get an opportunity and you want your ego stroked, put your resume in Notebook, boost your ego. But the podcast feature and the new beta feature is that you can talk to
Yes,
your
I saw
data.
that. You can
That's
actually
something
change what
that
you're saying.
that's an amazing feature. Like Google, you got any other tools you like, Remy?
I guess my other go-to is Perplexity, and ChatGPT is the ones that I use the most with Claude. I didn't mean to make it seem like I didn't like ChatGPT because it is a go-to for a lot of things, just not for business because my business requires coding. But what I do like about DeepSeek, to me, DeepSeek is not confined by a lot of the restrictions, a lot of other guidelines that ChatGPT, Gemini, or even Claude has. So if you want a broader answer, you can. I like going to DeepSeek just to get a raw answer and then go back from there.
As with, I
Gemini,
don't disagree, but as with
but
any AI tool, you need all of them, right? You gotta check to confirm what they're saying. With that broadness comes things that aren't factual too. So, this is my 2 cents on DeepSeek.
you got something against
Well, I
DeepSeek?
mean, so it's not fact checking anything, but those guardrails do help to fact check, and you can't just get anything from anywhere. We don't want to go down that path. We can talk about Gronk and what happened last week with what Hitler Grok or whatever. Where did he get that information from?
Claude does a really good job verifying information. And is it constitutional learning? I forget the term they use, but they don't do it like the rest of the AIs. They have limitations. Yes, you still need to double check everything. Nobody's perfect.
That's interesting that you say you need to double check AI, because like if AI, the problem with AI is that it's going to hallucinate the answer. If it doesn't know, it doesn't know. But then how are you checking? You're going on the internet to find that out. So it's just the fact checking. Have you guys played with Meta's LLM or Llama? How'd you guys feel about that?
Yeah, I haven't either, but that's more, isn't it open source?
Yeah, it's more open source. Definitely understand LLMs. There's ways that you can go ahead and build it in-house instead of sharing it with the internet. But overall, in due time, I think AIs are going to be very, very personalized for the person. Like with Gem, do personalization in projects in Claude. Pick your tool. It doesn't matter as long as it's good for your business. The three that we picked, we actually use it on a daily basis so that we can go ahead and be productive and streamline our process. Most of these tools are free. Each of us are going to go ahead and use this to boost our business. I'm on the fence about one thing we talked about bringing into next shows. Casey, do you want to give a teaser?
Coming in our next episode, we're going to be launching our tech segment. It's called The Download. And that's going to be the segment where we bring new features. We talk about new AI tools that are out there. As many know, new technology in this field that comes out probably weekly, if not daily. So we're going to be the ones to kind of go over new things. We're not necessarily going to give our opinions on anything. There's not enough time to research every single one. We're just going to be making people aware. Actually, you don't have to download much anymore. These all be cloud-based applications that you can use. But it gives you an opportunity for us to share with you all some of our research to help create this podcast and help introduce you to some new tools. We'll definitely have no liability for each one of those tools. We're not advocating for them, just let you know. So look forward to our next episode.
Awesome. This has been a great show. You can also find us on your podcast. We have our last episode there. So if you don't watch us on YouTube, listen to us on the podcast. Really, I think you need to tell people what they need to do if they're watching this
What
podcast.
platforms, Jay, are we on for podcasts?
We're on Spotify, on
Right.
Apple. That's what we need as of right now. We will find out if we can bring you on more. Those are the two that we're proud to say that you can find our episodes on.
I'll end with use all the LLMs you like. Don't stick to just one. They like sell at different things, but don't stick to just one.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you on the next show.
Next show.
Peace.
Peace.